Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to Coven Radio. I know we're on a different night just to throw you all off. But we're here,
Let's keep
same
it
magic.
spicy.
Yeah,
Very good.
just trying to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
How are you, Miguel?
Good, good. Having a really good day today, actually. Um, I was reading about the SEC news today for the US. So I still haven't
Yeah,
finished reading the 8 million pages, but I want to
oh,
see.
I'm sure you'll find the time. I know you like to read.
Yeah, I want to see what it's all about. I mean, the biggest thing is that crypto is not a call it it's a commodity, not a what's the word I'm looking for? Jesus Christ. Why
You
I can't
said
think of I'm
earlier,
going blank
it's
now.
not.
I was talking to you about it earlier.
You said it earlier.
I'm
Now
losing it.
I've gone completely mad. So
I'm
it's
losing it.
no longer it's yeah, because I know I found issues when I've tried to boost posts about
Yeah.
my NFTs because they say they're like financial investments. So it's do they call it a commodity? I don't know. What do they call
No,
it?
no. Security. It's no longer
Security, that's it.
considered a
So
security.
it's not that. So we're good. So we're good now. We can do shit without getting into trouble.
I can do stuff now without going to jail finally.
Oh yeah.
Or
That's
at
always a
least
good thing. I mean, I don't think you could do the show from jail. That would be a pretty
I think
oh,
retro will have a kick
maybe.
out of that.
He'd fix it up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Be like sending you in a burner phone. Like kind of you'd be like
Send me a
streaming.
burner phone so I can put some
Oh my
NFTs
god.
into a game.
DJP said, "Did you get a concussion?"
True.
True. Yes. But
Yeah,
yeah,
how
so
you
what's the yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I've had a couple of weeks off work. It's been really nice. Just doing a bit of drawing and hiking with the dog and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it's been nice. Been nice to take that time to kind of just slow down, not be on a schedule. It's kind of nice.
yeah.
We all need a bit more of that. I think especially as little Web3 magic makers because we tend to not stop. I don't think any of us in here switch off like ever. so so yeah, it's good. It's good. So yeah, I've come up with I got a new little coven in the making of lunar witches. Well, actually, they're not lunar
Oh
witches.
man.
They are little lunar familiars. So I've kind of gone all out on these. They're like little creatures that live in Lunar Witch's garden. I've made up fake Latin names for the species and like
Did you?
given them I've gone like full on. Um and I think what I'm going to do is maybe introduce a couple through the Mystic Moon drops, but I think it's going to be the new the what would we call it, like addition to kind of give the next Coven Clash wave something new for people to look for. So they're kind of cute, weird little tiny creatures, almost like not quite fairies. They're a bit weirder than that, but yeah, I've been brainstorming and
Dark fairies? Is that what's happening?
kind of little dark creatures, little wisps, and kind of live among the mushrooms, all that kind of thing. So I'm excited to share those.
Yeah. Oh man, did you
Um,
see what Doodles did today? Was it today? Yeah, it was today. They released their
with the
new
AI,
the AI thing, yeah.
did you see what Captain Futon did,
I did. I shared
Danny?
it. I liked
Oh
it.
yeah, he did like a little one of my illustrations in the doodle. I wonder if I can find that now quickly.
Yeah, it looks
Um,
really cool.
yeah, I'm gonna find that because I know I reposted it.
But it's been all over my timeline today, like all over my timeline. Everybody's like using it. I haven't
It's
tried
they
it yet.
No, I haven't tried it. I was like, when he shared it, I was like, oh my God, where on earth did you
Yeah.
do this? Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Hang on.
I have a doodle somewhere, but I haven't like I don't even know what my doodles look like. I gotta find it again.
Here we go. Yay, look at this.
Yeah, yep. I saw that. That was really cool.
How well does that work? What a clever thing.
Yeah. And it's just their own AI. Like they created it. So you just put in whatever picture and it converts it into a doodles. Like
I
even the
know.
background, everything around you. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I loved it. I
Yeah.
was like, that is so spot on.
Yeah, I love the way that their artwork is very like it's
That's
very
so
simple but yet so good. Like if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. That's what makes it so clever is the
Yeah,
simplicity. But yes, yeah. I mean, that is so near. Like straight away. I mean, look,
yeah.
all the detail
I know.
heavy stuff there to
And
that, and
then
yet
boom.
there's
Yeah,
still the same character, right? It's
yeah.
really, yeah, it's really clever.
But there's
Yeah.
still a lot of details in this too. Like, look at the little skulls in the
I
leg. Like,
know, and
mm,
the
yeah,
little splotches
it's
and
so good.
the boots. Yeah, it's really good. And the slime coming
Yeah.
out of its eye. Yeah. And
I don't know if it
the
did anything.
stitching.
Yeah, I don't know if it did anything for like the price because I haven't looked at it for Doodles, but
Oh
I mean,
no, I haven't had a look either. They're out of my price range, so
yeah.
I never look.
Oh, but
I'm like, there's no point looking at what I can't have.
but the AI is pretty freaking cool. Like, pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really, really
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, well, if you've got any updates before we bring on our wonderful guest, I know your
Um,
egg shuffle has been doing really well.
yeah, the game has been doing really well. I'm very excited and happy about it. Retro's been pushing it like a madman. Yeah, we gifted out 4 NFTs so far. I think it's 4 or 5. I don't remember. I think it's 4.
Cool.
Yeah, so far 4 people won NFTs from the game. But one of the things that I'm working on now is my whole focus has shifted towards the battles, so the battle mechanics. So I've been
Yeah,
working on that the last couple of days. So we're trying to
awesome.
see if we can finalize that so we can start our battles, and then from there I can focus on the comic book. Once I
Yeah, yeah,
focus
yeah.
and finish the comic book, which is almost done, then I go back to focusing on the games and finish the other 3 games. So yeah, I'm trying to
Awesome.
stay organized. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard though, isn't it, to be
it's
organized
hard.
and kind of when you've got so many balls in the air like that and kind of you want to do everything well and you know
Yeah.
um I've had actually that's the bit of news I didn't mention. I've had my proof from the factory for the new pin rewards and it all
Mhm.
looks good. So I signed that off. So they'll be going into production
Oh, that's good.
hopefully this week. So I'm
Oh,
excited
yeah.
for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, I know it's really cool. But anyway,
Who do we
let's
have
without
today?
further ado. So we've got a very talented artist about to join us. So you guys will probably know him from numerous collections that he's worked on. So I'm going to bring him on now. Hey, Pep, how are
Hey, Pam,
you?
how are you, man?
Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Got your magic glove on.
Yeah, it's my wife knows not to interrupt when the glove is on. It's not
I love
at
it.
all. No,
How are
I've heard
you?
so much about you, so I
Oh, I
can't
know.
wait for me to
I've been
come see.
shouting about you for ages to Miguel.
Yeah, I couldn't wait for this to happen today, so we can dive into your artwork. You growing up, what you did before NFTs, all that stuff.
oh wow. Okay. Yeah. No.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna deep
Let me
dive.
grab the trauma dump set. It's
Right. So, well, I suppose the easiest thing is if you like just to introduce yourself to people who don't know who you are and like maybe what you were doing creatively before you came into NFTs, and your background, that sort of thing.
sure. So hi, I'm Pup Meta
Hello.
X. I go by Smokey and Jason, all these fun names across the interwebs. I don't know how much you really want me to share because it's a little much. I
Whatever you
am
want.
Oh, I have too many hobbies. Getting into the space, I was actually introduced by one of my bartenders at the time, a few years back, by a little meme token called Pino the Dino, and it sounds ridiculous, but at the time, my daughter and I had done all these like little drawings for the actual community himself. Hey, if you want to use it, you want to use it, cool. They never did. Well, during that time, I had joined another community that a lot of people are aware of on X. These little pixelated dogs. No free clout. Learned that one from them. But during that time, I just kept on drawing while kind of sitting in the background, because obviously, in their situation, you're doing what they're doing. Dead bunnies, I see you. But you kind of sit back and you tag team what they're working on. And it took a lot of, coaxing from some of the people that I grew close with in the community to be like, dude, if you've been drawing, let's see what you've been doing. Because I was doing a whole bunch of like advertisements, like random cartoons that I would draw for their projects. And I don't need recognition, but I'm also doing this stuff for free. And at the same time, I've been building what is now known as the Pups on Soul for probably, I don't know, 6-7 months, just like drawing little things here and there. I'm like, well, what if we did this for this and this for this? Originally, we were thinking of what would be a fun NFT project. It was me and my bartender at the time, and he's like, well, what's the meta right now? We're like, Trump, because he was just going for election the first time, and dogs. Like, all right, why not? Pup Trump, right? Pup Trump. That's
I love it.
we came up with these weird AI-looking dogs, and they were just atrocious looking. Not cuddly, they looked very AI. And I'm like, no, we can do something better than this. So I started looking at the space, like what's popular, who's out there, what are we doing? And then I kind of took a step back. I'm like, do you know what? Maybe it's not important about what they're doing, but what's the style? And it was the D-Gods and the Utes. And I fell in love with the Dead Utes. And I had actually reached out to a couple of the guys in their community. I'm like, hey, what pixel sizes are you guys using? What's best for this? If I want high-def images, because I want to be able to zoom in on my art and actually be able to see smooth lines still. I don't want to see that pixelated stuff. And after a little bit, I'm like, all right, I'm going to switch my PFP. I'm going to do it. And it wasn't the launch of a project or anything like that at the time. It was like, all right, this is the start of, hey, I'm an artist in the space. And I kind of have a project that I've been working on. I don't know if we're really going to get any traction on it. And sure enough, I ended up doing a pre-sale. I ended up getting 10 soul in the span of like a night, just in pre-sale. I wasn't expecting any of this. Like I knew people in the space that we had gotten close with, like very encouraging, and the amount of wallets that had sent in were a lot more than I was expecting. And from there, I'm like, all right, well, this had better fucking knock this out of the park. So I kept on extra treats here and there. I'm like, all right, this is it. And one of the things that I really wanted to do was have the one-of-ones, because you can only do so many things. And this is, the Pups on Soul was my beginning of learning NFTs. Like, it was, how do you build this in this? Yeah. I tried Candy Machine. I tried like 3 or 4 different building platforms on how to layer, how can you do rules. And at the end, it was, I think I went with Launch My NFT. And it shows because I wasn't able to do certain rules. So certain things aren't necessarily layered correctly, even though they are layered correctly. It was a bit of a learning process, but I'll tell you what, I turned on my PFP. I had the Pups on Soul kick off, and I got picked up for my first project. I had at the time it was Big. It's a RWA platform in the space. I said, hey, we love your art. We love what you're doing. You've been kicking around with us. How would you feel about doing this project for us? We already have the base, but we don't have any assets. So and he told me very blatantly, he did it on space. You have 36 hours to do whatever you can.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah. So I did
no pressure.
NFT asset collection in 36 hours. And that minted out. It minted out very quickly, actually. It was the Big Neighbors. And from there, one of their homies, who just happened to also be in the space, the beginning of the Lucky DAO. And he's like, dude, I have these rabbits I love the concept for, but this is what has already been out there. Can you do something around this style? I'm like, all right, yeah, let me sit down. He's like, do you have any parameters? Do you have a base? Is there something?
Yeah.
No, just do your thing. I'm like, all right, cool. So I built the Lucky DAO, just kind of carte blanche. I had full creative rights to do whatever I wanted. And it shows. Like, there were a couple of like, hey, can we get this in the collection? I'm like, yeah. Does it have to look? No, however you think it's going to look. I'm like, all right, cool. So I did it. And there are some gems in there. I did a transparent rabbit filled with carrots. Probably one of my favorite traits in the collection. And then obviously the one of ones. Actually, to this day, I still have it as my iPad back screen. My Harry Potter rabbit. I don't. I can't.
Oh yeah, I can see him. Yeah.
But it kind of steamrolled. Like, it's from there. It was the Salon of Deads hit me up. And they're like, hey, we have a project. We have a concept behind a bigger image than just the NFT. We want kind of the face to our project. This is the beginning. And now, shoot, when I started working with them, they were just concept. It was community based. It was, this is what we have. We have grandeur plans. We don't want to spill all the beans. And since then, they have failed to not deliver. Like, they have built Discord bot. They have built a NFT generator. They have built an NFT launch platform. Like, it is crazy, the ecosystem that these guys are built on.
Yeah.
One of the coolest parts about all of this is to piggyback off of the Salon of Deads, because this will eventually be a gamified NFT. They want a sidekick. So they're like, all right, well, what if we used our own platform to launch this project? And that's where Boneforge kind of came to fruition. We sat together. He's like, hey, I've been building this in the background. Can you help me out? So we built the Hellhounds using Boneforge in beta, and I guess alpha. And it was kind of this is a smaller project, not as many NFTs, a cheaper price point, but I still got to have my fun. They're like, we need a dog. I'm like, all right, cool. What kind of dog? I don't know, a skeleton dog. I'm like, all right, well, okay. The only thing that they ever changed on it was the face itself. I was going for a little bit more friendly, and they're like, nah, he's got to be a little mean. He's got to have a little. That's right. All right.
Do you find people are generally quite happy to give you free reign? Like, I'm a graphic designer. That's my IRL job, and I generally find people kind of want to restrict you in Web 2 a little bit to what they want. Whereas, is it a bit freer working by commission in Web 3?
I've gotten to work with only one other artist in the space during this whole process, and it was actually on the Salon of Deads. It was one of the founders' wives who actually did a few of the necklace chains, because I'm like, I hate drawing necklaces. I don't like doing chains, diamonds. Ugh. They just make me. But you do you. If you can make it work with the project properly, I'm all for it. Yeah. And with the Salon of Deads, they had very specific assets that they wanted in there.
Right.
But some of them were like whimsical names. So we want Hell's Mist floating out of the eyes. I'm like, how am I going to depict that? And so I did my best to translate what they were hoping for. And I've gotten really lucky with the people that I've gotten to work for. Where it is, they kind of, hey, we enjoy what you do, man. Just do you. I am currently working with one project that is this is what we want. This is the image that we want. And it's the first time where I feel a little restricted, but at the same time, it's probably really good for me, because now I'm working around somebody else's parameters. I'm working with their image in their head into my pen in my hand. Yeah. And being able to translate that is actually a struggle, which is good, because if everything were easy, why would I keep on wanting to do it? Where's the challenge?
That's true.
Yeah, it is challenging. I find that, because obviously I create brands for people, but then sometimes someone with an existing brand will approach me and be like, well, we want you to create X, Y, and Z for us, and it's obviously got to be within their brand guidelines, their brand style. And the challenge, but also the joy, is being able to sort of add your own touch to it and move it forward slightly from where they think it is to where it should be. And I think it's probably the same when someone has a clear idea on a collection, that you've got that creative thinking that you can say, well, yes, but how about we push this a little bit, or it's kind of
No,
exciting to do that.
Well, and it's funny with the Salon of Dead, they actually approached me with a base. They're like, we have a base already, but
Oh wow,
Oh,
okay.
did they?
I may or may not have said, okay, cool, but what if? And they're
Yeah.
like, okay, we kind of like this one better. So, and I wasn't going for that. I was like,
No.
what if we did this? And we can even collaborate the two together. But in the end, it ended up being my skeletals, which worked out really well with what I wanted to do. But
Yeah.
with the Salon of Deads, I went through a little bit of a growth process as far as my actual art style. It
Yeah.
was, how do we get things a little bit darker, still go along with the brand? And then with the Hellhounds, again, a little bit of a transition.
Yeah.
And finally, I think I finally got full circle on where I wanted to be, actually, yeah, with the bunnies.
As soon as you were saying about
I love
that
it.
sort of
Those are
development,
so good.
because you can see the progression through your art for sure.
Yeah.
Like if you know the order in which they've been created, and this is like one of my favoriteest bit of art that I've seen. And I'm not just saying that because you're on the show,
No.
but like literally like
Yeah, they're really good.
so good.
So I
And-
appreciate that. I fell in love with them. Like
Yeah.
I was approached with an AI generated teaser trailer that they had done for themselves. And they're like, we kind of like this style. I'm like, okay, what's he look like? They're like, we don't know. What does he look like? And,
What does he look
oh
like?
joy! So I'll be honest, I had probably like 4 or 5 different sketches out, and at the end of the day, it was that almost actually the fedora look was mine. It was like that
Yeah.
almost gangster bunny, but not quite dead,
But not quite.
still pretty beat up and torn. And I'm
Yeah.
like, is he shredded? I think he is, because
I know.
Abs.
and the reason for it being that specific style is because if in my head, if he's almost a zombie, if he's technically a dead bunny, it's just like a regular zombie where it's like
Yeah.
the skin's there, but it's still all just muscle.
Yeah.
So he's got the fur and it's just muscle. He hasn't really been eating, but he's like, I don't freaking need it. But no, that was, and it just kind of ran with it.
I love the way you apply your storytelling to your process. That's kind of how I work,
Yeah,
where you're like,
I like
well,
that.
you can put yourself in the mindset of the character, and like, you're like, yeah, he doesn't eat, he's shredded. I love it. It's brilliant. Yeah,
don't need it, man.
it's so good. Yeah, these I've got a bunch of these. I absolutely love them. They're so good. They gave me Donnie Darko vibes. I was kind of like, I think that's where I fell in love with him. I had that, oh yeah, proper
Yeah.
creepy bunny.
I agree.
Yeah.
Donnie
Yeah, I love them
Darko
all. They're really
is,
good.
the White Rabbit.
Oh, see, I've got one of these where he's got no top on. I was like, wow, he's been in the gym. But yeah. So what would you say your art style, like outside of Web3, is influenced by? Like, do you have, like, before you got into, like, have you always like drawn and kind of been creative, and what would your initial inspirations be?
Yeah.
I've always sketched. I've always drawn. I've always doodled. Like from elementary school on, we always did that. Like I was the kid in the back drawing on their jeans, or I'm in shorts. All right, cool. I gave myself a pen tattoo that day, and it just kind of slowly never went away. And about 12 years ago now, no, I guess 10 years ago now, I had I tend to hoard all of my art. Like it's always been in like a binder where I'll take a night and I'm just sketching. I actually had an apprenticeship for a tattoo set, and I was ready to go full bore. I'm like, I'm bartending on this as my full time. Let's start tattoo.
Yeah.
And it just kind of it didn't happen because I got called for an actual paying job. Apprenticeships don't pay anything.
They don't pay,
And
no.
it's all learned, which is fine. Like if you can afford to do that, cool. At the time, I have 2 kids. I was 30. I was barely 30 at the time, and I was like, all right, am I going to take an unpaid internship in order to hopefully be able to do this. And I just couldn't. Well,
No.
I never stopped drawing. It just kind of kept on happening. And now, like, I've also been doing a lot of 3D printed design. So the masks on my wall, I designed the Mandalorian helmets with the football
Yeah.
logos on them.
Really
I
cool.
enjoy that comic book style.
Yeah.
It's always kind of been my thing. I'm a huge anime nerd. Like
Right.
Inuyasha, like fantastic one. Like those old school ones, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Desert Punk. Like those are the ones that kind of brought me in. And you know, you mix that with a little bit of new school art, those brighter
Yeah.
colors, darker darks, and you end up with kind of this.
Yeah. Yeah, you can totally see the anime influences for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really, and those color palettes, those like you say, those bolder color palettes. I think that is like you say, the dark. I love you the dark darks and the brighter colors. Like that's what drew me to this collection. I think because especially the darker bunnies when they've got the neon shades and it's kind of like it's just really pops off the screen. It's very
Honestly,
cool.
my favorite shades are not the Twisted Vision, although I love the Twisted Vision. I forgot what I named it, but there's a set of like aviators that are just missing gaps. Those
Yes,
are
I know the ones.
Yeah, I've seen
uh,
those. I remember seeing those. So all of your collections are on Solana, right?
yes.
What
Well,
drove you to Solana? You-
it's ease of use. And that's really all that ever was the easiness to be able to use the platform. Ethereum, the
Okay.
gas prices are higher.
That's true.
Someone who doesn't have much money to begin with can hop into it and feel comfortable. It's not a
Yeah.
complicated network. It doesn't have all these other layers on top of it or under it. Like it's
Yeah.
all right. I'm using Ethereum. Okay, cool. Which version are you using? Abstract base. Where are you at?
Maybe that.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm using Ethereum. It's whereas in Solana, I'm using Sol.
Yeah.
And that's really the only reason.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of it seems to be I'm coming across quite a few launch pads and stuff that are sort of Solana based and it seems to be it's like artist friendly seems to be the
Yeah.
hook is that you don't need to really know a lot of the tech in order to kind of launch a collection, which is kind of the artist's dream, right? Because not everyone's got the money to pay a dev or kind of, got the time to work out that stuff for themselves. So that makes complete sense to me that would be the chain of choice for that.
Yeah,
For
it's
sure.
just I've gotten really lucky because the original version of the pups I had launched without knowing anybody. Like there is technically a version on ETH, and there are maybe 5 or 6 wallets with ETH pups.
Yeah.
Some of the guys found out that I did it. They're like, "Dude, how do I get some of those?" So we've divvied out some. For the most part, they're just vaulted up. They're kind of just sitting in a safe place. But I had actually generated those with little GMs to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. I know. I'm in love with this collection as well.
So the little rockers was I had gotten done with the pups. It was right after the big neighbors, and I wanted to do kind of I was this one actually happened almost on accident. So a guy in the space reached out to me. His name's Fix, and he's like, "Hey, love your art. It doesn't necessarily vibe with me, but I would love to be able to say I'm wearing a pup PFP." Because he just wanted to support. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, what do you like? And he's like, well, I a single dad, a rock out, love my band tees. This is who I am. I'm like, all right, cool. So I drew him a little concept piece, and he's like, oh my god, I actually love this. And I'm like, oh my god, so do I. It's like a little chibi. And what I ended up doing with the collection, I went and found. I think there's 118 or 100 and some odd different actual band style T-shirts. I redrew every single one of them in order to make them fit on this, and it's just some of my favorite bands. The ones that you haven't heard of, some that you have. A
That's
couple
really
of
cool.
guys that I was hanging out with, they're like, "Dude, could you add this? There's a couple even like small indie garage band logos in here.
Yeah. I straight away I knew that was Pearl Jam. I was like, oh my god, it's one of my favorite tracks.
That
These
is,
are so wicked. I feel like I would be a female version of one of these.
I may be mistaken. One of the guys from Pearl Jam actually has it in his wallet.
No
Oh, really?
way.
That's cool.
I'm not
Seriously?
joking. Yes. There is a gentleman that was hanging out with me. I was doing spaces almost full time. And he's like, hey, I need to get you in contact with this guy because he's actually like the lead guitarist for Pearl Jam. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. Turns out totally fucking is. And
That's
was
insane.
not expecting that. Here's that. I can't remember.
That
his
is
name.
really cool.
Michael.
These are so good.
So let me ask you, like, walk us through your typical digital workflow. Like, what tools do you use? How long a piece takes? Late night sessions, structure. Like,
That is a great question.
up to us.
You know, for the longest time, I've done 99% of everything in Sketchpad or Sketchbook.
Okay.
And,
Oh, interesting.
iPad. So I live with this in Sketchpad. Only since I started learning how to tattoo have I started using Procreate. And
Okay.
since I've been using that tool itself,
Yeah.
Procreate has been my absolute go-to. But there are still certain things that I can do easier in Sketchpad that I can that I would do in Procreate. Oddly enough, like different color gradients. Although now that I figured out how Gaussian
Gaussian blue, yeah.
Yeah,
works,
yeah.
it's become
Yeah.
a godsend. But
Yeah,
there's
so
still
good.
certain things that I enjoy easier in Procreate.
Yeah, I could that even with the Gaussian blur though in Procreate, it can be a bit banded sometimes. Like you can see like sometimes I have to take it into Photoshop and tinker with it a little bit afterwards as well, you know? It's
Yeah.
a
Well,
funny one
it's
that.
not that smooth.
No,
like,
it isn't smooth.
all the way up, and then it blurs too much. Like if I
Yeah.
want a easy gradient on my t-shirts, I can't just fill it in and blur it because then it's like spreads out through the t-shirt.
Yeah.
So you go
Yeah.
into Sketchpad, like, all right, I want gradient. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. Here are my colors, and I'm good.
Yeah.
But my normal workflow, so I work Monday through Friday as a normal. Weird
As
schedule
normal.
again, restaurant. And then I'll get home, 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and I will draw probably about until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. On a really good session where I'm just cooking, it's all right. I like this. I like this. I'm gonna do this. Oh, but what if we did this? Next thing I know, it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't sleep a lot. I haven't since I was a bartender, but I can get a lot done in a very little bit of time.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, just today alone, I've done 6 different assets for the pups. And actually, we're Mutant Pups in Space. I have a
cool.
launch coming up, not this week, but next week. It'll be
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
E2 or season 2 for myself. But as you guys were talking, I was
Oh,
designing.
look at that.
Yeah,
That
So-
looks epic.
that was cool. Yeah.
So is this your own collection rather than you being the
Yes.
artist for someone else? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. I was running spaces almost full time for about 6-7 months. Where it's 7 days a week, and one of the things we would always do is pups in space. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Muppet
Gigs
Show.
in space. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it just kind of stuck as a hook. And I'm like, well, what if we did season 2 of the Pups is Pups in Space?
I love it.
And that's kind of what I've been sketching out for the last year. Ever since the pups launched, it's all right. Well, I'm not done drawing. I'm still doing one of ones, although I was told I shouldn't do any more one of ones for the pups because sometimes you do too much of that, and it oversaturates the collection in general.
Yeah.
So I did take a break on that, but at the same time, I wasn't done with the pups. I haven't been.
No.
It's kind of who I am. Like the pups were literally half the assets in there are wardrobe items I actually own. Like, it's the bulletproof vest. It sounds weird. It's
Right.
the vest down over on my corner. The patches and everything. The hat with the Idaho. I own that hat. Like, it was kind of me.
Cool.
And with this, it's little less of my own like wardrobe and specifically me. It's more of a, all right, what twisted stuff can I come up with that it's just fun. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be that professional. This is who I am. There's a little bit of rocker in each one of us. This is all right. Let's just get weird with it, man.
Yeah.
You know,
I love weird.
Are you still doing
Yeah.
spaces or no?
I am actually getting back into spaces. I did my first comeback space last night. It felt really nice. There were like maybe 9, 10 of us. I think 30 people in all showed up. But I run weird time in the U.S. Because I'm a night owl, and I also make sure that I have time to draw. I'm going
Yeah.
to take
Yeah.
an hour and a half out of my night to stop and do spaces to kind of settle and rewind. It's a nice little reset, and
Yeah.
chat with the people that I'm closest with out here, and people who just want to see what's going on. Call it pup and stuff or stuff and things. One of the two is normally the name of the space. But I run it at anywhere from 11 o'clock to midnight Pacific Standard Time, or as we like to call it, pup standard time. The perfect standard time, actually. But no, it's definitely weird. The scheduling is not okay.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah. I did see a space. You'd scheduled a space, but it was like 6 a.m. for me, and I was like, yeah, no, I won't be awake. I won't be awake at that time. Oh, I probably would have long gone to bed myself. So, yeah.
You know, you mentioned. Sorry, go ahead, Vicky.
No, go. You go. You
Oh,
go.
no, I wanted to ask him, like, you mentioned the tattooing, right? Like, compare the two mediums for us. Like, what do you feels freeing about, like, NFTs versus permanence and pressure of tattooing? Like,
you know, they're both permanent. Like, let's be very real about that. Like, the pandas right there, those are permanently on the blockchain, unless you're burning
Yeah.
them.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're taking a tattoo and you're burning it off yourself, that's a permanent medium.
Yeah.
But the difference is one of them is a very specific style and art picked out by your client. For me, NFTs are an expression of how weird can I get today? How cool can we make this? And I'm not saying you can't do that with someone's tattoo, but if they want,
No.
like I actually just did a family tree for a buddy who's like, I want my kids' names and banners, and I want 2 bears at the bottom. They're not cartoon bears; they're like real bears. I'm like, oh, okay. So, where's
Yeah.
there's lack of creative freedom there. That's one of the reasons why I'd love to kind of specialize in anime and cartoon art,
Yeah.
especially for tattoos, because it's big, it's bold, it's colorful. It's something I
Yeah.
get to enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to like what I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. There's a reason why I have so many hobbies. I build watches, I build guns, I 3D print, I design things.
Unlike me.
I do.
You
What?
do. Sounds like Miguel. He's the same. Like, I think you're two peas in a pod.
Oh, I'm sure we get along very well. Like, if I'm not doing anything inside, I'm golfing. I'll go bowling. Like, I don't sit still. I have ADHD with Tourette syndrome, and the two are a very weird mix. Like controlled chaos that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all artists, though, have that inability to stay still for too long. I feel like I call it itchy brain. I call it that I get, where I just like my brain itches. I can't sit still. I've got
good
to be
name for it.
creating something. It is. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear like a lot of people we interview have that same kind of issue where they just can't. You, Miguel, every time you message, you're like building something, making something. You know, I think it's a symptom of being like an artist, really, isn't it?
Or a curse. So
It's a curse and a blessing.
I
Yeah.
don't know, man. I think it's more of a superpower. Like,
Yeah, there is that. That's a good way of putting it.
That is
the
a good
amount of things that I can get done when the house is quiet and I am home and nobody else is awake because I can't sleep
Time.
is crazy. Like, that is. It's like next level. It's like having an entire extra day to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
have 3 different workloads. Like, I'll go home, in normal work day, I'll go home or I'll wake up, I'll draw for like the first like 30, 40 minutes of my day. Just to like kind of get me like, all right, I'm awake, I've had my Red Bull. And yes, this Red Bull coffee's gross. Don't
Yeah,
even
don't
try to
drink.
tea me that's flavored flower water. Go to work, and I it's all people. My job as the general manager, I'm literally just out there shaking babies and kissing hands, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
And that's what I do for a solid 8 to 10 hours a day. I'll get home, and my wind down is, hey, there's my wife for a couple hours that she's awake. And then I draw until about midnight, and then I'll start running spaces. After space, I'll stop. I'll pull out my, where is it? Sorry, my tattoo and my art stuff is all combined, but I'll pull out like the fake skin and I'll just start
Oh,
drawing.
cool.
Oh
Like
yeah.
this time with the tattoo
Nice.
machine. Like it's
How do you handle not burning out?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. I've been doing what I'm 30, 39. I'll be 40 at the end of the year. And I am a single dad, or I can't call myself a single dad. I am a dad of two. I have what? My daughter is 20. She'll be 21 in December. I'll be a granddad in June. My
Oh,
son is
wow.
down the way. He is 22 years old. I don't know, man. Like I said, I think the ADHD and the Tourette's is kind of a godsend in its own way. Like I twitch enough to where I can't sleep, and I'm hyperactive, so
Yeah.
I really can't do anything. And when I do things, I hyper focus.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. I think I would be on burnout right now if I was doing all that. But
I'm
then,
burnout now.
I know. Well, that's why I've just had 2 weeks off work, because I was just like, just needed that time to just chill. But then you say that I had time to chill, but at the same time, I've spent the entire time coming up with new characters for
stuff, yeah.
my, you know what I mean? So it's just
It
away
doesn't
from the
stop.
work. It's the work, the IRL stuff that I can take a
Yeah.
step back from, like the day job, as it were.
But this is what we
Because
love doing, so it's like
I know, yeah. I love these
Yeah.
pandas, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, these
The-
are great.
That was a weird one for me because they're like, "Hey, we want to do pandas," and again, they came to me with a concept art, and I'm like, "This is AI, isn't it?" They're like, "How did you know?" I'm like, "Pandas aren't shiny." It was like it almost looked like a rubber
Yeah.
ducky ball
and
of a panda.
that's
I'm like, that's not okay. And one of the projects I'm working on is actually called the Kind Cubs. And I'm like, I can draw you a panda. And the Kind Cubs are these tiny little, again, like think of them as a stuffed animal type of bear, and that's what we're doing for them. It's more about mental awareness and things like that.
Nice.
But I've been working with Mama Bear and Papa Bear for a good 3 or 4 months on this stuff. And it's still in the background. It's just slowly cooking. But I'm like, no, let me draw you a bear, because this is what I told Mama Bear and Papa Bear I wanted to do in the beginning. And they're like, no. And then we should make it.
No.
But that was one of those where I already had the idea behind of a concept art, and this is me being able to get to use it.
Yeah.
So and again, they're like, just do your thing, man. We enjoy what you do. I'm like, all right, cool. So I did exactly that. I just kind of had fun with it. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's one of the best parts about the people that I work with. They know kind of what I'm capable of. And if they don't like it, I told them, be very blunt. I don't need everybody saying my farts smell like roses, You hear too much of that and you start believing it. Like, you can't buy into your own hype. You can't. Like, it will get to anybody. I don't care who you are. Like, I appreciate you. But at the same time, it's nice to be called out. Be like,
Yeah.
dude, what were you thinking? Or I don't think that really fits the aesthetic. Fortunately enough, I like to think I have a little bit of an eye for style as
Yeah.
far as that stuff goes. So the things that I get called out from, sometimes color coordinating. I never claimed to be good at that. My wife could tell you that one. But it's I like those bright fun colors. I like
Yeah.
the style.
Yeah, they're
of
pretty
the
cool colors.
It's very nonchalant.
Makes it pop.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that kind of almost
There
clash
you
of
go.
color is what gives it like that pop and that
Yeah, I
vibrancy
love
for
that.
sure. And I love that as well. I, you know, colors that shouldn't go together just
Yeah,
do actually
yeah.
quite
You know, you're very
often.
creative, like extremely creative. How
Yeah,
do you
very
handle
creative.
like creative block?
Multiple projects. Actually, it right now, if you go to X, there's another project that I've been working on for what 3 or 4 weeks now, called the Stone Gods,
Oh
and
yeah, I know the
Oh
Stone
wow.
Gods. Yeah,
that one I've been working on in between when I've been drawing the pups, and I was drawing that while I was doing the pandas. Like it's a little bit of a freeingness of your mind to like,
Yeah.
all right, I need to step away from this. If I draw one more of these, I'm gonna freak out. So you go to something else. Like, all right, this is a
yeah,
little bit of a darker turn, but
Oh, I see what you mean. So you to handle blockage, you just continue to work,
oh
basically.
yeah,
yeah.
Doing
continue
that.
to work. But
That makes
See, I never
sense.
thought about it that way. It's a good idea.
No, it's just refreshing. It's
Yeah.
working on something different is like a reset on the other thing, isn't it? I guess you're kind of just keeping it fresh by switching directions slightly. I do that with my graphic design during the day. You know, if I'm like, oh, I got this job, I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. So I'll step away, work on something else. And generally, that little peripheral brain kind of will go, oh, actually, and I can go back to it. And this kind of, so I kind of do a similar thing, I guess. These are really cool. I love these stone gods.
well,
I've met
thank
him in
you.
a couple of spaces, you know?
I keep on missing them. We've only ever spoken in the back channels. And
Yeah.
again, they had a couple of asks for me, but again, I kind of had carte blanche. They're like, we want a stone god. I'm like, all right, cool. What does he look like? They're like, what does he look like? So,
Over to you.
well, and well, this isn't even my first version of him. My first version was actually a block of stone that was like hunched over, like overbearing. Just it was right after I got done drawing the bunnies, and it was such a dark form of art. I wanted to keep on going with it, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to rinse and repeat the same thing. It needs to be
No.
slightly different. One of the reasons why he's also looking directly at you, he's not a side profile, which isn't
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
common
I
with
love
an
this.
NFT
This
or a
is so cool.
PFP. There, you don't find a lot of them that are just directly at you. They're staring into your soul, you know?
Yeah.
But it also gives you a different outlook on the direction of how are they wearing this, where is the light hitting things. It kind of
Yeah.
gives you a good way to play on things. So
Yeah, I love the colors on that jacket
Yeah.
that we had before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The last one.
oh, the
And I
puppy
love that
kill.
black and white. Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
cool. The
that one
puppy
right there.
coat.
Oh my god, it looks cool. I love the colors on that. How they pop.
I would wear
So
that.
good. You know,
Well, and that's one of the things that I was what
I gotta ask you, AI art and NFTs, friend or foe?
you know. I can't say foe because I'm sure for the people who don't have someone like myself. There are people who want you don't you can't afford to hire somebody, right? But you have a vision. You have what you want in your head, but you don't know how to put it out on your hand. If you can talk with AI well enough, you can translate it, you can have it work for you, use it. But is it going to end up putting someone like me out of a job? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Mostly because,
I don't think so.
it's there's one of the things that I enjoy about my own art, and this is me sniffing my own farts, is the imperfectness of this stuff. Like if you look at a pup, especially like the OG pups, one of my favorite collections that I did was like, and it's not perfect. Like the lines in the face, certain lines are thicker than the others. It's those little things. But it gives them that character, that personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With AI, you have more perfection than you do imperfections because
Yeah.
that's what it wants.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be symmetrical, or all the lighting is going to be perfect. For me, it's a good guesswork. I'm like, well, if the sun's looking at my face, I'm pretty sure the shadows are here. It's
Yeah.
and I think that's where AI will always miss the point. Is
Yeah.
the imperfectness of the perfect, you know? And I'm not saying
Yeah.
any of my stuff is perfect, but it's fun
No, no,
enough
no.
to make it wantable.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I don't think people want perfect. I don't think that's what people want when they're looking at art either.
Yeah,
Because
I think so too.
we're, yeah, I feel like that removes its soul a little bit, for sure. I can't wait to see the space pups. They're going to be awesome.
I am really looking forward to get to share that because again, I've been working on it for a year now, not full time because I've been working on the other projects. But it's one
Yeah.
of those. I have a good idea. Hey, what if we just kind of keep this? And I have a folder that literally just says pups in space. And since then, it's now transferred. I renamed. Oh yeah, don't look at the melted ones. There's some weird
What?
shit. Um,
What's wrong with the
Actually,
melted one?
there is one. What did I call him? I forgot what it was. But he is. I was trying to draw a latex suit
Oh
over,
God. Okay.
and it's the melted eyes. It was weird. Okay, it was a weird day for me.
I love weird though. Weird is good.
But no, with all this stuff going on, I wanted to get really different with where I was with the pups. And I'm not saying it's there aren't some weird things in the collection. It's a lot of fun. And as I started doing more one-of-ones, I started having a little bit more fun with how I was translating things over. And mutants kind of became like the thing. Like you have the Mutant Ape Yacht Club. You
Yeah.
have mutant versions of everything. And I'm like, well, I want to join the club. But I
Yeah.
also like the space aspect because no one does space. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, you know what? We're going to combine the two. This is how it's going to be work. I don't know if anybody ever watched the movie Don't Be a Menace in South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Oh yeah.
No.
Obnoxiously long title of the movie, and it was fun. It was different. It was quirky. It was stupid, and that's kind of what I was going with when we. I'm like, well, let's just call it Mutant Pups in Space. So it's just slightly longer, but slightly obnoxious. Who's gonna say the whole thing? You're just gonna say pups in space,
Pups in
or
space.
mutant pups, one of the two.
Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of does the standard mutation, don't they? There's kind of feels like there's a formula, so it's nice to break out of that, but kind of nod to it as well.
And I want to do a lot of nods. Well, I've been wanting to do a lot of nods to some of my favorite like sci-fi. So you got
Yeah.
Star Trek, Star Wars, Halo,
Yeah.
Firefly, like the little nuances for one shows
Yeah.
that not everybody knew or loved, and ones that I really did enjoy. So,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
across all these projects that you have, like, what is your favorite one? Am I gonna start?
Oh, I was going to ask that. Yeah,
You
don't.
mentioned like
It's
your
like
favorite one.
picking a favorite child. It's
I
really-
know.
Well-
You're like, nah, I don't want to answer that.
I don't answer.
Well, I'll be honest. The mutant pups in space are currently my favorite.
Oh.
Only because one, no one else has really seen all of it. I've shared a little bit of teasers, which is nice, but there's a lot of stuff that no one's seen, and I'm really proud of where I've come from with it. Like going from the first pup that you see all the way over to the rabbits and then the pandas. Like even with the Salon of Deads, the transformation of where my art has gone is I'm very proud of. Because as I do this, I learn more technique. I learn different
Yeah.
styles. It's learning shadows. How dark is too dark? Am I using enough
Yeah.
black? Or I wasn't using enough. And being able to see where I am now, I'm very excited to be able to share that with everybody.
pretty
So it's one of the reasons why I'm like, I think it's time I'll pull the trigger. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on drawing forever.
Yeah.
If I don't say, all right, this is my end date, this is when we're going to launch, then I'm not going to ever launch it. And that's kind of what we did with the pups. I'm like, I could just keep on drawing, but I'll never launch it.
Yeah.
And as an artist in the space who gets to be a part of all these other communities, I know that a lot of them already have pups in their wallet. Like
Yeah.
it's something that they're like, dude, we love what you did. This is where you were. And we're excited to see where it is because this isn't like our vision. This is yours. And that's the other exciting part. This isn't somebody
Yeah.
else's ask. This is my own ask of myself.
Yeah.
But I will say that the rabbits have a really close second.
Rabbits are really
Or
cool.
the bunnies. The bunnies have a really close second.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all of them. They're just amazing.
Yeah, they're all, and you've got such a distinctive style, but every single one has its own
Yeah,
personality and its flavor, which is
very
kind
good.
of very clever to do. Um, will he be launching on? I'm guessing Solana, but will it be launched by NFT or Gravemint? I know a lot of people are
It will
using
be on Grave.
Gravemint.
I
Yeah,
will be launching the pups on Gravemint. Actually, one of the coolest things about being able to do that, and this isn't, I'm not here to shill the project on any form, but Gravemint has what they call packs. So you're guaranteed certain rarities in the
Yeah.
collection. Also, one of the
okay.
things that I'll be doing, one of the reasons why we vibed, we talked about tattoos. In the
Yeah.
collection, there are going to be 5 1 of 1s tied to 5 tattoos. In
Oh wow.
that, so I'm doing my best as an artist
Cool.
to branch out into the RWA space, but
Mm.
in a slightly different fashion.
Yeah.
And I have 2 that I want to put in the collection as mintable. So it's a random luck of the draw. If you mint them, you have this. I will go to wherever you are, and I will give you a tattoo of your choice, whether it's an NFT, one of the NFTs you really like, or just a pic of your tattoo.
Yeah,
And the only reason I'm only going to do 2 of them in the collection that way is because not everybody wants a tattoo. And
I do. I'll tattoo my
exactly,
NFTs.
like some of us, like them more than others. And just
Some like
because,
quite a few.
but I'm gonna put the other 3 up for auction on the Gravemint site. So if
Oh,
they want them, they
nice.
want them. And it's, I actually want the tattoo done by you. I would love this idea. Otherwise, I'm giving them the opportunity to not do that. But I think it's a little bit different, a little bit more fun that way to do it
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah. Yes, it's like because obviously my style is heavily tattoo inspired, and we're actually building like a VIP area for people who hold. So they'll be able to access different versions of their witch, but along with that comes like a tattoo pass, so they could take it to their artist of choice if they wanted to get it tattooed and say like, yeah. So I do that with all my prints that I sell on my shop, my Shopify. That they get a little tattoo pass, because a lot of artists won't touch the art unless they know you're allowed to. You've been given permission to. So
yeah.
I wanted to kind of do that for my holders as well. Whether anyone will or not, who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
pretty cool
Well,
though. It'd be really
that's
cool.
that's kind of the weird thing right now, because it's you're jumping into you know, I don't know if anybody actually wants this. It's an idea that I have in my head, and
I
they're
love
either
it.
going to jump on it or they won't. Like, it's again a leap of faith.
Yeah.
If you don't take the leap, you don't know. But if nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
Yeah,
That's true.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have people do get their NFTs tattooed on them. I've seen
Yeah.
quite a numerous amount of
I've seen a
people who've
lot.
done that. Yeah, it's really really cool. And to have that as a user, I mean, you do know you'll have to get a flight to the UK, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Well, and I've actually already talked to one of the guys. He's like, "You realize you're coming to Australia, right?" I
oh
told my
yeah,
wife,
okay.
"You going to Australia with me?" She's like, "I'm not going to fucking Australia. The spiders will eat me. It's just
Spiders what you mean.
That's how I feel about it
when
as
the
well.
bugs are bigger than you, there's something to be worried
Oh
about.
yeah.
It's,
I mean, that's another NFT collection right there. Australian
Yeah.
bugs. Killer bugs. Oh my god.
Listen,
Oh,
before we let you go at some point, can we do a quick rapid fire?
yeah, go for it.
oh my
All right.
god, Miguel's on it.
I wasn't prepared for this. Hold on.
No, I wasn't
You know what?
either.
Are you ready?
Full
Favorite
send.
band?
Ooh, Matchbox 20,
Dream tattoo subject?
anime.
One song that sums up your creative journey?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It sounds weird, but Eric Clapton's "If I Could Show You the World."
And the final one, pups or pandas in a fight?
Pups.
Perhaps. Obviously.
Bruh. Have you seen? He's literally strapped. Like he's ready to go.
That was good.
I mean, you wouldn't want to throw the dead bunnies
They
in
are an
there because they
offshoot
would
of myself.
annihilate.
Pandas are the most clumsy animals known to man. Like I don't know if you've
love
ever watched
pandas.
those videos. They're falling out of trees.
Oh,
They're
I love
high on
those videos.
eucalyptus. It's
I'm always posting them. They're so good. I
I
just
like
wanted.
the
I
one
think I
where-
posted the Monday. No, what was it? Friday. I think I posted I wanted to be a panda because he was just like relaxing in the river, just chilling.
well, you know those pandas are still
Here in the world.
So if you wanted to pick one up, you're more than welcome to it.
Yeah, I know. We should go and get a panda. It was funny. I connected with him on. He was supposed to come up on a space that I was co-hosting, and he couldn't. I had to disappear, so I sent him a little DM saying, "Oh, I'm really sorry I didn't get a chance to speak to you and like hear about the collection." And he shared some of your sneak peeks with me on the back, so I'd seen them before he launched. I thought that was I love that. It makes you feel special, like you've got the inside track. It's really good.
Right.
But he was nice. Yeah, I liked him.
Oh, that's
Funny.
fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's been amazing getting to know you and sharing your wonderful art. It's been so much fun.
Absolutely, 100%.
We'll
I
have to get you
appreciate
back
you
on
having
when you launch. You know, when you mint, and you've got these new space pups to share. You'll have to come back on and showcase the collection.
I would love to.
Yeah, we want to
Yeah,
get you
we'd
back
love
on
that.
for sure. 100%.
Yeah. Maybe you could come
Well,
on
thank you for
Rebel
having
Radio.
me.
Yeah.
What was that?
Maybe you could jump on Miguel. Miguel does another Space Rebel Ants Radio, another live stream on a different night with his co-founder Kevin, who is here watching. He's already said he
Yeah,
really wants a
somewhere
panda. But yeah, so maybe
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
be
sure.
careful. I
Kevin
was
will-
told very early on I have a face for book I have a face for radio and a voice for book.
no, you have got a good voice actually. You have got a very nice radio voice.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, well, thanks so much for coming on. I'm sorry we messed you around a bit last week. We had a bit of a power issue.
Yeah.
It happens. What was crazy is I'm
Sorry.
like, did they get hit with the same snowstorm we just got hit with? Because half of my
Are you in
town
the
is out of
East Coast?
power.
Are you in the
I'm
East
no, I'm in the Northwest.
I'm in the East Coast, so we just had that huge, gigantic snowstorm.
Yeah, we didn't get anything like that. I think we've seen like maybe 5 inches all year.
No, this was crazy.
He was like, I'm running on 20% solar. There's no sun
Hated
to top
snow.
it up.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, it was really lovely meeting you. You haven't got a date yet, you said, for Pups in Spain?
Actually, I do.
You do?
The official launch date is next Friday, the 27th.
The 27th. Okay, so you guys need to jump on Pup Meta X, give them a follow, set those reminders. They're going to mint out quick, dude. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
I got a feeling. Like all those communities that you've created art for, like surely everybody is going to be like jumping on that. Be
And
excited.
We'll find out. I'm hopeful, but I'm not. So
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you want every listener to walk away with?
wait, what?
What do you want every listener to walk away with from your stuff? Like, what do you do? A new
Oh.
favorite collection, inspiration,
Oh shoot!
just a smile, or goodnight Neverland?
Well, honestly, one of the things that I want a lot of people to realize is you don't need permission to do things. You can just do.
Yeah.
If you take a bit of a leap of faith on yourself and you just have the want to do something, just do it. I don't have a diploma. I don't have a college degree. I have nothing. I was a high school dropout with 2 kids. I'm running a restaurant. I'm doing NFT work. I'm starting to do tattoos. Like, you're
Amazing.
allowed to just do things. And if you fail, you fail. You know what? Guess what? I fail a lot. And every now and then you find those things that you just happen to be really good at that other people vibe with. And, if you can just keep on pushing yourself, do it. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, that is amazing. That's inspirational. Oh, well, thanks again for coming on. Thank you, everyone who joined this evening. Sorry if the day changed, but we'll be back to normal next week. Miguel, have you got any final thoughts for anybody?
Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight, and thank you, Pup, for being here with us and sharing this time with us and your collection.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Right, good night to everybody. Don't forget to stay cute and creepy, and most of all, be your magical selves. Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.